Hello and welcome to another episode of Ask God. It's very nice to be. I do hope that you're all well. Yes, I hope you're all well, I trust. We simply have quite a lot of questions that have come in here at Bliss HQ, as you'd probably expect. So let's just get on with our first question, shall we? So Silena Rivendell Short asks, where do moths go in the winter? Well, Silena, it is a bit of a conundrum, isn't it? Moths, seem to sort of just vanish, don't they, for the winter months? Even though they sort of flutter around the place at night times, mainly in the old summer there. So we've had to look into this basically, and I'm reassured that they do have a number of coping strategies for the winter. Some species lay eggs apparently in late summer or autumn, which don't hatch until the following spring, when food is a lot more plentiful. Then many moths spend winter as caterpillars. Don't quite get that bit myself. Do you get that bit? Do they regress or something? No, I'm not sure on that either. Anyway, I'm reassured that some of them hibernate amongst vegetation, basically. And others do sometimes emerge to feed from time to time in the milder spells that we have throughout winter, whereas other species, like the hawk moths in particular, like to spend winter as pupae, apparently, tucked up in their warm cocoons underground, where they are sheltered from the cold. And then it also says some species hibernate as adults if they can find a warm, sheltered spot. So I think that's maybe probably the right answer there. So in short, they hibernate, are young. I don't think they regress, as I say. So they're either young pupae or cocoons, or they hibernate amongst vegetation, in short. So next, Sean Taylor of Ottawa asks, did the flood actually happen as in the tale of Noah? Yes, basically, Sean, in short, due to the deglaciation of what was known as the Laurentide ice sheet. It is sort of held back by a sort of ice dam type thing going along the Atlantic coast, and it sort of bobbed up and down a bit, and eventually the ices gave way, and the water sort of flowed out quite quickly, between about 5 and 10 tons per second, raised the whole lot of the water levels across the world, full stop. It caused the English Channel, which separates England from Europe, basically, bit like Brexit, I suppose, in a way. Anyway, so this big lake thing that was on top of America was about the size of California. It's very, very large, and it poured out its contents into the oceans, and the ocean levels were risen up by this. And if you notice, there's something a bit near Istanbul, basically. It's called the Bosphorus Sill, and for a long time on the east side of the Bosphorus Sill, it was like arable farmland, and it did rather well. And then the ice dam broke, and all the water poured out, and consequently the Bosphorus Sill was breached. And then you got the Black Sea now. So all the water that caused the Black Sea, which is there now, and also, as I say, you got the English Channel, and water levels did rise up quite significantly. So yes, the flood did happen, and yeah, I remember now. He was a very pleasant chap, from what I remember. We had some plans that Stan had knocked up from Bliss Site Services, or Heaven Site Services as it was called back then, for some sort of flotation houseboat type thing, and we sort of handed them off to Noah, and he built it, and he did quite a good job of it. It sort of was the proof in the pudding, basically. And so Noah built this large houseboat type thing that floated, and had a bit of trouble getting the animals on. It was actually 7 of most animals, actually, not just 2. It was only 2 of the unclean animals, and that was a bit of an issue. The poo, basically, or the detritus and dung, did make things a bit whiffy on the old houseboat type thing. And the elephants, they're also a bit of a problem, because we found that if we had them all at one end, then it made the whole thing sort of topple up a bit, and so we had to sort of level them all out along the boat, which was a bit of a challenge at first, we found. Then also there was the sheep, did tend to follow Noah around quite a bit, as you would expect, because sheep are a flocking type of animal, and yes, I used to often hear Noah refer to them to flock about the place, or flock off, or something like that. Anyway, don't quite remember all of it with clarity, which is a kind of a good thing, Noah. But we'll let you off with that one because you did save a lot of animals, didn't you? Yeah. So yeah, the dung was a bit of a problem, as I say, and then there's a sheep. So yes, in short, the flood was a real thing, Sean, and I hope that answers your question, basically. So moving on, Mary, quite contrary, people get these names from, of Hemel Hempstead, asks, where was Eden and the Garden of Eden? Well, Mary, Eden really was a metaphor for the universe, and the Garden of Eden was a metaphor for planet Earth. It can also be sort of construed as possibly being where the Fertile Crescent was historically as well. So, yes, they're real places in essence, even though they're metaphors. And you've got Eden being the universe, Garden of Eden being, your humble little planet Earth, and you're just spinning around there a bit on the outer spiral arm of the Milky Way. Moving on, Archdeacon Philip Phillipson asks, can you help inspire me if I'm writing a sermon and just can't think of anything to write? Well, Philip, I know what it's like. Sometimes you just can get stuck for inspiration, can't you? But there's simply tons of things if you open the old bibliotech type thing, which, well, the Bible, you have a bit of a read in there. How about forgiving others, or teaching about self-forgiveness, how people can sort of come at peace with themselves? Might be an idea. Or maybe helping people who you might not otherwise help, a bit like the Good Samaritan, remember that? How about you? You got any ideas? Coveting thy neighbour's ass. Why that one? It seems very specific. Why are you thinking of that one? Your neighbour's got a nice ass. I take it you mean a donkey. Thank goodness for that, it is a donkey. So who's your neighbour? Oh, Balaam. Oh, yes. Well, yeah, I can see where you're coming from. Don't get many talking donkeys these days, do you? No. So, give it a chance. Would you have a talking donkey, maybe? Yeah? Well, I know what I'm getting in for Christmas then, don't I, really? Anyway, moving on. I hope that helps you there, Mr. Archdeacon Phillipson. I hope you get some inspiration. Next, Hengist Kant. People must realise that I know they're making their names up, Anyway, Hengist Kant of Southwick asks, why does it always rain when I want to put my washing out? Well, Hengist, if that is your real name, apologies if it is. It's a rather unfortunate name there. It is merely coincidence. Nothing's conspiring against you. It's just merely coincidence. It happens to rain. Maybe you need to sort of, listen to the weather forecast on the radio or something like that. Might help you in the future. Get a pine cone. They're quite reliable as well. So there we go. Next, Jim West of Boreham Wood asks, why do we have money? Life would be so much simpler without it. Could you help write off my debt, please? Well, Jim, money is mainly a human construct. I don't really deal with money. And yes, as the Lord's Prayer, my prayer, says, I can forgive you your debts. However, that's more of a sort of a metaphor for sin and guilt, really. As far as getting rid of your debt, I can only accredit righteousness to accounts. If you read your Bible, know exactly what I'm talking about. So I can only accredit righteousness to accounts. I can't literally write physical money off. You'd have to maybe get some financial advice from possibly the financial ombudsman, if it's an extreme measure, or maybe go to Citizens Advice Bureau, or I hear there's a good charity called Step Change. They're rather good as well. So maybe get some advice there. Oh, so what are we next? We have, oh yes, this will intrigue you. Oh, just feeling a tad thirsty. Just one second. Oh, yes, it's rather nice, that orange and mango, isn't it? Yes, rather tasty. So, yes, we had this fascinating email from Mr. Vinicius Gatanga, who lives in Nigeria. I'll just read it to you. He says, "Dear Mr. God, by some fortunate happenstance, I have come into a considerable amount of money. My dearest Uncle Nigel has passed away since February 16. It said, that's what it says. And left me $120,000. I am looking to give charitable and would like to put it into your bank account until such a time when his late uncle's estate is resolved." So which uncle's dead, really? Is it the uncle's uncle or his uncle? And I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, I'll go on. Yes, so his uncle's estate is resolved. Once it is resolved, I will collect $100,000. So he's being rather generous. $100,000 and leave you the remainder and its interest. It is sincerely that I ask for your assistance, seeking a response, please, as soon as possible. Yours faithfully, Vinicius Gatanga. No, it actually says faithfully. Well, the English is appalling in it anyway, isn't it? I mean, look, seeking a response, please, as soon as possible. Seeking a response. Seeking a response is what it should be saying. And then yours faithfully. I think it means faithfully. Yeah, faithfully would make more sense, wouldn't it? Well, thank you, Vinicius, but I don't think we'll be taking you up on your kind offer. Firstly, because it's a scam, and secondly, because it doesn't really make any sense. Moving on, our next question is from Cindy Staton, who asks, "Which do you prefer, a Marvel or DC comics?" Well, Cindy, I kind of like Spider-Man and Batman. I know Gabriel's very much into the Avengers and Iron Man. So there's a good few superheroes there as well. Who do you like? Any idea who you like? Because I know you like to be quite sort of awkward, don't you? But, oh, you like Captain America? Right. Okay. Do you like the Flash? No, not keen on the Flash. What about Daredevil? No. Right. Okay. Who else? Maybe. Oh yes. Well, Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange. Yeah, Doctor Strange is rather good. The Mystics are very keen on Doctor Strange with the old interdimensional travel type of thing that goes on there with his superpowers. It's rather fantastical, but it's pretty good. What? What? Oh, you like Wonder Woman? Captain Caveman. Captain Caveman was a cartoon character. Besides which, Scooby-Doo is much better. The crime-solving cartoon characters are much preferred to Scooby-Doo than Captain Caveman. No, Captain Caveman isn't a superhero. He's a cartoon character. Oh, I am right, aren't I? Yeah. No, there's a big difference. That's what they called comic book heroes and cartoon characters. Look, I knew it. I knew this was happening. You're just being awkward again, aren't you? You're just being deliberately awkward. Captain Caveman definitely wasn't a superhero. He was a cartoon character, and beside which he was an inferior one. Scooby-Doo was much better at crime solving than Captain Caveman ever was. I do apologise. Anyway, moving on. I'm afraid that's about all we have time for today. Yes, as you'd expect, Jonas has asked me to remind you that, of course, don't forget to like our Facebook page, which is Ask God. Our username for that is an @Ask God and Bliss HQ. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and thank you very much for all those who are subscribing. Very grateful for that, and to those who share the videos and episodes of Ask God. It's much appreciated. Keep up the good work. Then don't forget also to send us your questions through prayer or text message or email or letter. or what other ways are there? Oh yes, facsimile. That's right, facsimile. Or you can, just pick up the phone, give us a phone call, and leave a message, or you can even leave a post on Facebook, on the Facebook page, saying, go, what is such and such, or what's that all about? We like your questions and keep them coming in and get up to stacks and stacks. But until next time, thanks for watching and take care.